What is up, Ricky and Garage Gym Gaines? Welcome to sunny Massachusetts. I'm gonna show you my home gym, which we call the House of Gain, or the HOG. Um, you know, I'd like to say it's still a work in progress, but we've got movers coming tomorrow afternoon to break this down, take it down to Florida with all the rest of our stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to get you guys an update when we're down there. But for now, let's check it out. So this is a detached garage, probably built during the 50s. Kind of a spider trap when we got it. It was just filled with a bunch of stuff. The old owner was a home remodeler, so this was his workshop. So I'll stand in the middle. It's kind of what we're looking at. We got barbells, cardio equipment, doesn't see as much use as it should. Reverse hyper. Kind of go through things in a little more detail here. Just want to give a panorama. So with a lot of this stuff, we're not in it for as much money as you might think. Probably still too much money, but you know, I work at gyms, got a lot of it secondhand. Gyms were either going out of business and gave it to me or sold it to me at a really deep discount. So, and then a lot of gifts as well, because your relatives know you're into working out. They think it's funny, so they get you stuff. So over here, looking at medals, mostly my wife's medals. Same with the trophies. She wins a lot more trophies than I do. Couple different posters from old gyms that I worked at. What's really nice about this is because the old owner was a home remodeler, it's all plywood all the way around. Do have some insulation back here, but it's still pretty cold out here. My hand's kind of going numb holding the camera. So this is our grappling dummy. My wife and I both train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so doesn't see as much use as it probably should, but it's funny to have. Definitely making the trip down to Florida with us. Shelf, because everybody needs a shelf. Chalk, shoes, bands, slam ball, yoga mats, all that good stuff. We got mats right here. Again, drilling Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You want to be able to throw the mats out, just mess around with some stuff. Coming back behind the mats. Get these out of the way. Got our dumbbell set. So this is one of my favorite things about this gym, is I feel like everything has a story behind it. So up to 50, we got these because some guy was just selling them. He had a whole setup at his place. So we got those for, I want to say, $400 with the rack. Felt like a pretty good deal at the time. And then all the rubber dumbbells that you see down there were all just given to us free by actually a member at one of the gyms who was moving out of his place, one of the gyms where I work. So, you know, pretty sweet deal there. Over here, we've got our kettlebells. So we've got all of these, you know, demon head kettlebells. It's one of the, talking about how everything has a story behind it. These were literally the first thing we got for our house. We actually had kettlebells before we had a bed. So that's pretty funny. So, you know, thankfully my wife, same priorities as me. And then a couple of heavier kettlebells. Those were sort of added as we went along, and got a little bit stronger and needed some heavier weights. So this is our lighter bench. This is just fitness gear, Dick's Sporting Goods brand. I actually think they do a pretty good job. Got some more of their stuff in here. Our platform, so you can see, you know, we built this, we really like it. The floor here is not at all level. There's like, it's something like a foot of drop from this end over to this end of the garage. So this was our attempt to level it out. It's still pretty pitched forward, especially as you get more towards the middle of the garage. But you know, we did our best. Got the shims under there. So, you know, we'll have a flat floor in Florida. So that'll be an upgrade in and of itself. Banners, the HOG, this stands for House of Gain. You have like a dog, which is sort of my spirit animal, and a crow, which is my wife's, and then like the wild boar down there. This was a birthday present that she got for me a couple years ago. Really awesome. She does cool design work. Hook grip banner, because you gotta have a hook grip banner. This is a Rogue Monster light rack, and then we got the add-on attachments so that we could do the weight storage. So weight storage there, crossover symmetry. I have the weight storage kind of inverted, and I only have 3 pegs. My whole rationale is the heaviest thing I want to move the least, so having the 45 at chest height makes it really easy to load the barbell when it's set up for squat or bench press. So that's kind of the reasoning there. Got the rings up there, good for ring dips. This weight tree was a dump find, so my stepfather-in-law just found this at the dump and got us a weight tree. Those wheels are an add-on, they don't work too well. So this was our first squat rack. Originally, this was just in the center of this wall. It's a PRX rack. It's honestly been pretty darn good for us. The one thing, it's a little bit wobbly, but what I love is these pegs you see right here and up top are completely modular. So you can pop them in wherever you want in the rack, and it's just a pop pin. But they're great for storage. So you see we're using the spotter arms right there to store some stuff. Some wall storage back here. We got the, the dipping belt, the battle ropes. Don't think I've used those once. Some smaller mats. This is when we were trying to protect the floor, so we got like climbing mats. Kind of use those for sit-ups now. As well as some jump ropes and some collars back here. Again, plywood on all the walls, so super easy to screw in that storage, kind of a nice touch. Down here we got the weight tree. Everything was sort of set up here with it in mind that my wife and I would be able to train together. So, obviously she gets the nice rack, I get the older rack, but it's all good. With this weight tree, these are probably my favorite plates. So living in Massachusetts, really cold, dry winters, really hot, humid summers. You can see the corrosion on some of the plates right here. These rubber coated PB Extreme plates, I think they're like Perform Better's premium line. They're just awesome. They have handles. They don't get too cold when you're grabbing onto them, which I know is an issue in colder climates. Definitely an issue for us here. Holding down the PRX rack, we just have the 100-pound plates. I don't know that there's anybody here who works out that's strong enough to need those. These were also free from that same guy who was moving away. Shout out, John, you're the man. Thank you for giving us all that stuff. Over here we got barbell storage. So easy curl bar, don't tread on me flag, because you have to have that in a home gym. My wife's Bella bar, my Rogue Castro bar. That bare steel is awesome, but it is not suited for the climate that we're in or the climate that we're going to. So, that will eventually make its way out, I'm sure. That's just a random barbell under there that I got from a friend. And then the SS yoke bar for the Elite FTS. I got this on their Black Friday sale, probably like 6 or 7 years ago for 50% off. It was an absolute screaming deal. I was living in my mom's house at the time, nowhere to put it, didn't care. It actually just kind of lived in the CrossFit gym I was working at for a couple years. Titan foldable 45-degree back extension. I'm not old, but I'm not as young as I used to be, so the back raise is great, really helps. This stuff actually used to live behind the True Form, but wanted to make it more accessible, so now cardio equipment's less accessible, no one's upset about that. But the 45-degree back raise and then the West Side Scout Hyper sort of live constantly set up. So the Concept 2 equipment here, super awesome. I am a CrossFit coach, I'm a CrossFitter, so use this quite a bit. Especially nice for more longer steady state stuff. I don't quite do intervals a ton, but when you're doing steady state cardio, there's nothing better than like, you know, you do 10 calories on the bike, 10 calories on the rower, 10 calories on the skier, bounce back and forth. Really cool, really, you know, definitely a luxury to have. West Side Scout Hyper, we got this because my wife's back was bugging her. We both use it quite a bit. Just one quick thing about the Concept 2 stuff. Some of the very few pieces of equipment in here that we got firsthand. So a lot of this stuff was used, you know, like PRX rack was used, the Rogue rack was used. So getting this in here, that was your sort of treat yourself. Same with the assault bike, got that new, seen a lot of use over the years. When I bought it, Rogue wasn't making Echo bikes. We'll upgrade to an Echo bike at some point if the money's right, but it's a want, not a need. All of this is wants, not needs. Our ridiculously small TV compared to the space, maybe we'll get a bigger TV in Florida. And then our True Form. So we got this because the CrossFit gym where I used to work was switching over to air runners. So they gave us the True Form. If you know anything about these things, they are so heavy, they're so hard to move. It took me and 3 friends to get it into the back of my truck, but got it for 40% of what they're charging for retail. And if you know anything about these things, you know that computer, it's basically just a Game Boy up there. There's no technology associated with it, so this thing's gonna run forever. We have a sound system that no longer works. If I'm being honest, I just toss YouTube up there, you know. I'm not doing anything crazy where I really need to get fired up at this point. Every home gym needs a junk surface. So this is ours. You got straps, gloves, obviously get super cold in Massachusetts. Plyo box. My wife's stepdad built this himself. Same with these pulling blocks. These are awesome. They just set the bar at a different height for like Olympic lifts and stuff. Sandbags. The only thing that I paid for on this rack was that 60-pound D-ball. Everything else just came to me as a result of kind of being in the right place at the right time. So been putting this together since 2018. I think there's one takeaway. It's you're either spending time or you're spending money. And if you keep an eye out and try to, you know, build some connections in your area, you don't necessarily need to spend as much money because you put that time in. So thanks, Garage Gym Gains. Love the channel. Hope this makes it.